Hello everybody, it is Chris Plant and I am reporting live from the Loft. It is E3 week and I am accompanied by my friends and coworkers, but friends first. Well, Griffin McElroy and his bro Justin McElroy.
Hi, the internet. How are you?
Internet.
How are you doing today?
We're over here. Internet.
Camera
hey,
three.
internet.
Hey.
We appreciate you for joining us here
Yeah,
at
joining
the
us
Loft.
here.
We've gotten things really cozy for you. We thank you for sticking around with us to talk about all the exciting announcements that we've seen over
And
the
this
past
live stream
48
is
hours.
going to be...
It's going to be magnifique.
It's
We're
going to be
go
magnifique.
until our bodies can't function anymore.
So, I think we should start talking about games.
Okay.
What began today was Nintendo.
Can we go even deeper?
You want to go deeper, Dish?
I feel like this is our first. We did some stuff before, but this is our first. I feel like big boy live stream.
Yeah, it is our first big boy.
Oh, look at you drinking like a man. That's how
I'm a
man
big boy.
does, bro.
How has E3 been for you overall? The experience of just getting here, living here.
How are you feeling?
Red stripe bottles look like something hobos drink.
It does, right?
They look like squat little bottles of
It
hobo
doesn't
wine.
help that I look like a hobo. Like, who got this chair? who does this guy think he is?
Yeah,
you know where this came from? It came from the set of Snick.
I want to give big ups to whoever decided to seat the Kefling in the chair that rises above his head. Like he looks like he's waiting for Santa to get back.
So okay, yeah. How are you doing, Justin?
I'm good. What's the profanity situation?
PG-13.
PG-13.
So I'm gonna burn on one fuck now.
You burned it.
So none of you have answered my question or even come close to addressing it.
I'll answer your question. It has been a bit of a disappointment, and I'm only on my first beer. It has been a bit rough, I will say, for the big boys at E3, not including Ubisoft, which we'll get to. But I think we're seeing a lot of people keeping their hands close to their chest, not showing what's coming in the next gen. And I think that might be a little bit hard for people because we're basically seeing, game-wise, what is coming out until March 2013.
Yeah.
And then nothing else.
Or in some cases, stuff that's already come out.
Yes, yes. How about you guys? What is your general vibe?
I mean, it's a solid. I mean, it seems like E3 2011 Part 2.
It does.
It feels like the DLC expansion for E3 2011.
And it really, when you're on the floor, it really does because you're actually seeing the same games you saw last year, and then the DLC expansions for those games.
It's not only that. It's like it felt like every press conference followed the same trajectory that they followed last year.
Almost to like a parody version of that, like Microsoft, where it was like, hey, remember how we talked about ESPN last year?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that
We're
again.
going to focus on Connect games and media partnerships. And that's fine. I enjoy a good media partnership from time to time, but like there was nothing shocking, I feel like, in any press conference except for Ubi, and I can't believe that I'm saying that.
Yes.
Why don't we talk about what each of us think the most baffling moment?
Actually, you know what? My most
conferences
baffling moment for EA, and I'm going to point this one out because I can't believe people aren't talking about this one, is the Dana White coming out for UFC.
Explain some of the backstory for some of our millions of listeners.
Dana White is like the biggest, we can't use the F-bomb, you already used it up, Justin, but he is the biggest F-bomb trash talker in the world when it comes to EA. Like, he threw away so much junk, and Arthur is making me look like a troll right now, but he was such a trash talker. He was like, oh, I'll eat shit the day I ever work with EA. They're the dumbest, biggest losers in the business.
Yeah.
I'm THQ through life.
Is that just because he hated the Mass Effect 3 ending so much?
It. He hated it. He hated it. And then he walked out on stage. He's like all cool with EA now. And then 2 hours later, THQ announces that they've laid off the entire UFC studio.
Wow.
And it's like, man, that guy trash talked, flip-flopped, and then basically got 200 people canned.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, in an hour.
He looked pretty beefy, so I wouldn't say any more disparaging things about him.
He did have some beef on him.
Because I don't know how to describe this, how to explain this to you, but you are
Not a me?
You're a wispy man.
I'm a wispy man.
There's not a lot to.
I'm the OG Rayman.
Yeah.
They modeled the character after me.
My most baffling moment was from Microsoft, and Microsoft showed a lot of stuff that was like not at all exciting, but the craziest one had to be Racketeer. Now Racketeer, I think it was Edge described it as Angry Birds meets the part of Heavenly Sword that nobody liked. And Racketeer was announced in February and is releasing in like a month and is an XBLA game for Kinect. Like, how are you building excitement? That's it's a dumb name. B, you got the worst lady to demo it. This lady was drunk and it was 9:30 in the morning.
Okay, pause.
Can I use my card for this one?
I saw this.
Let's talk about Wonderbook. Oh man.
Wait, we don't need to talk about. We just need to.
Huh? Dad, this thing sucks.
I hate this toy you got, Dad.
Lift the book, Sally. Lift the book.
Yeah.
Many motion controls work. This is my personal plea. They never work on stage, like
no,
ever. And you're supposed to have somebody. You have to do this with motion controls. Most of the demos that you see in keynotes are, of course, someone's playing backstage and they're pretending to play on stage. And it's embarrassing once you know that. But you can't do that with a game that shows your picture on it.
But it's better than watching this travesty unfold on stage and then thinking like, oh, this person's going to be fired.
Right.
Like very, very soon. This person is going to be possibly killed as soon as they leave the stage.
Well, more likely they were killed. not possibly. They walked off and somebody did a Expelliarmus on them.
It was a bad year for press conferences spending a half hour on a thing that they probably should have spent maybe 35 seconds on. Like the Nintendo Land Ghost tour.
That guy, that we have one minigame on our minigame collection, and now I'm going to take you so deep into it that you're going to be able to do QA bug squashing on it later this afternoon. Like, come by the booth and help us debug our game. Because, like, I'm going to tell you about every mechanic. Are you curious how batteries work? Well, sit tight, bucko, because we're going to take you deep in.
Before we go any further, I'm going to make an editorial call.
Okay.
I'm going to stop, briefly take a break from this. If somebody in editorial could throw the stream in a post and then throw that on our front page.
Hey, maybe.
It'd be great.
Just an idea. Just something we're workshopping.
Now that it's working.
And then people, if you're watching, we'll get that post up. We'll put it on the Twitterverse. And you can comment there instead of having to use YouTube's comment system.
And if
you're allergic to it.
If you get this link from, it's where the links is right up.
The link is right up here.
Right here.
Creighton, the link is right up here.
The link's right here.
Creighton, can you make the link right here?
If you see the link, I'm grabbing the link. Creighton has animated it above my head, as you can see.
Is it there?
Animated
Well, Creighton says that we can't do that.
He's animated the URL right
That's
here.
That's a hamster dance.
He's animated the URL here, so you can copy and paste that and say, I'm watching some men.
You're literally trying to use up our entire E3 budget for the next 4 years.
It said the URL is here.
Okay, wait. Let's go back to this.
There's a funk in. Can we?
Go on.
Let's just stop making fun of this stuff.
Okay.
Let's talk about something that.
Let's talk about. You want to talk about Watch Dogs again? Because I can talk about that all day.
We can talk about one or two things that we've been excited for, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty.
The nit grit.
The grind.
The grit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I saw that was a big surprise was Zombie U, which I'm continually disappointed is not about a university of zombies that you just get to hang with.
Now you got to actually play that today.
I got to play it today, and it's great. It's a weird mix of Left 4 Dead and Dead Rising, and then it just reminded me of back in the day, like in Dreamcast and Saturn, when they would make survival horror games that were just weird. Where it'd be like, we're not going to have graphics on this game. You're just going to have a dark screen and you're going to hear a sound. Or like, you're going to have our VMU's going to have a goofy little animation on it that you have to look at. and then you look up, something scary is going to happen.
Did that game ever exist?
I don't know. Things like that.
So you're saying a Wii U and the Dreamcast DMU are equivalent.
That's what it felt like. It reminded me of like the old day where you'd like pay attention to something else and then look at the screen. And you're kind of nursing this whole thing. And one of the commentators made the point where it's like, well, this is just bad game design. Like, we're distracting you from game mechanics by having you look at the screen. But that's the tough thing about survival horror, where like you're basically using things to purposely make the player feel uncomfortable and distract them to like create that tense horror environment. And that's what it felt like. Like, even when I was surrounded by 15 people on the show floor, it was spooky. Like, I was like spooked because you go into.
But you're a child.
No, I'm a baby. I'm not a child.
You are a baby with a child's nerves.
I'm a baby with a child's nerves. But you go into like a children's nursery, and it's just like creepy as all hell.
Oh no!
Oh, and this is it. Oh, it's so filthy. But you're walking around, and you got to pull up your Wii U to scan it, because you don't know, like, there's like 10 dead bodies. You don't know if any of them are zombies.
Oh,
so you scan, and you have to look at the Wii U to actually see what is there. So you're not really paying attention to the screen, so things can sneak up on you. And if you get bit once, you're dead. Like, that's game over. And then you start as a new character, and then like you can like find the character that you were and kill them and get your like stuff back.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's great. But the like you feel also like a cold-blooded killer, because you'll scan the room and like there'll be 10 bodies, and there'll be like a young woman who are like infected, and she won't be moving yet. So you just put your gun and shoot her in the face, like blow off her head. And the woman behind me is like, "Why'd you shoot that one woman, not the 9 other men?"
And you'd be like, no, trust.
No, zombie. I scanned it. They're like, I didn't see you scan anything.
Now, I hate to be the cantankerous old man poo-pooing on your enthusiasm. Did they explain to you why they picked such a crappy name for their game?
I mean,
Zombie U? That's a really bad name.
It's on par with what Freaks from Outer Space Attack or whatever the last, the one that we can't remember.
Killer Freaks from Outer Space.
Clowns. Killer Freaks from Outer Space.
Zombie U, it's not even spelled. They didn't even spell zombie right.
It's actually pronounced zombie.
Zombie is very French. It's a bad name. I mean, it's probably going to be a launch game. I'm sure it's going to have some flaws, but in terms of just being like neat ideas and actually using the Wii U controller for something like different compared to all the other stuff I saw. I mean, even Nintendo's stuff is like flick it and then turn it, and it was like, here was something where it was this is like there are two games. There's the game that's going on in the scanner, and there's the game that's going on here. And it was especially scary where you get really used to, like, you rely on the scanner. And I fell through the floor, and this woman, like a zombie woman, I could see her stalking me through a hole in the wall that I was gonna go through. So then I saw her go towards, she left, and I realized the only door left in this room was where she was going. So she was coming in to get me. So I looked right down at the scanner to get it and scan her. I was like, maybe she's a human. And I pull it, and the scanner goes out the second I lift it up. So then I'm like, what? And I pull it down, and right as I pull it down, she's jumping at me and just bites me. And I was like, that was a perfect moment. That was one of those the scanner went out because I had fallen from the through the floor. So it broke the scanner.
Sucks, dude.
It was a great moment. Just live with it. Just live with it. That was a great moment, a good game.
So do you do the whole thing with the pad, the Wii pad? You don't use the nunchaku?
No, you don't use the touchpad.
There's
no nunchaku. It's all Wii pad.
You're holding it
No. I mean, a lot of the Wii U games you can use.
They use it's all Wii pad because you have to be looking at that screen a ton.
Are you at all worried that it's going to be like Red Steel? That we're going to have another Red Steel scenario on our hands?
No, because when I first played Red Steel, I still
You're like, nope.
I still was it didn't feel good.
How the graphics look?
The graphics looked good.
That's all I care about.
They're at least on par with 360.
Okay.
It was a little stuttery. I mean, it was also, it's not out yet. I mean, you kind of come to expect that with these previews.
Where does Mario figure into it?
Where does Mario figure into it? Did either of you touch Mario today?
No. The video game character?
The game, yeah.
No.
I didn't have a whole lot of time with it. But, I mean, it feels good. It feels like Mario. Yeah, I mean, isn't that kind of the disappointment of the press conference?
For me, it did not look. Now, we were streaming off the web.
He looks a little goofy in HD. I will say that. Like,
does it?
You're just not used to seeing him in high fidelity.
You can see like
age.
He's just pockmarked.
Oh,
yeah, you can see
he's covered in weeping sores.
the Alfredo is still stuck to his mustache.
Oh, that's not Alfredo. Oh, God. Do you guys want to talk about another game?
Let's step away from Wii for a second. Tell me about something you saw today.
I can talk about Little Big Planet 2. That's only been out for 3 years.
You love talking about that game, don't you?
No, I want to talk about what I saw today because I walked by.
This is amazing, actually.
I walked by where they were showing it off.
I was jazzed.
Nobody was checking it out, maybe understandably because Little Big Planet 2 did come out a while ago. It's a great game, but it's old.
You're going to say something really interesting, so I just want to pause for 1 second. Yeah. They do this every year at the Sony booth.
They do.
They add something to Little Big Planet, like DLC or move support, and every year people are just like, oh.
It happened literally last year with the move support update, and people were just walking by the booth like, no. And I was like, hey, I'll check this out. And it's like a whole new Little Big Planet game that you play with your move. Anyway, the Vita, it's not just remote play, and it's not just using the Vita as a controller.
Yeah.
Like it's got actual cross play between the two where you build a level on the Vita and you build a level on the PS3 game, and then they interact. So for instance, we played this one level where Justin and 2 other guys were on this rotating space maze inside of a ship, and they could get points and power-ups as they navigated the maze, and there's all kinds of traps and hazards that they had to avoid. While I was playing on the Vita, I was playing a side-scrolling shooter, and while they found power-ups inside the maze on the PS3, it would power up my ship in the shooter.
So you're playing 2 different genres of games. One on the PS3,
but they were
one on the
totally
Vita.
influencing
They were totally
one another.
related. Yeah.
So, and every time I had to turn the Vita to steer, this is how I hold my Vita, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
Every time I turned to steer, it would rotate the maze that they were going through.
Now that's nifty.
So I would hear them like, okay, now jump over here, I can grab you. Jump over here, I can grab you. And then I'd turn to shoot something and throw one of them into a laser beam that would kill them. And every time I ran into something, they would lose all gravity inside the maze and just go flying around.
Wow.
But
yeah, and it's a really, I don't know why it was so effective to be playing one game and somebody else was playing another game and the 2 were connected. But it was very cool having a completely outside force acting on your game. Like it required a level of cooperation, I guess, that you wouldn't have in a typical, because you don't know what's happening out there. It's a completely different entity. You just know that it's messing you up.
You know what? I think there's something to that. Chris Hecker is going to hate us for saying this, but it kind of reminds me of Spy Party in a way. And what I think the big appeal for Spy Party is for people who are seeing it online and have had a chance to play the beta is there's something really appealing about playing something from 2 very different perspectives.
Yeah.
That feel like they're connected games, but they feel totally unique and separate from each other.
That's been the motto of the big 3 this year so far, between the Wii U and the smart glass technology that was a huge part of Microsoft's press conference. And but Sony hasn't really had anything. But
yeah,
they should.
But in a
really
way, this is the best because
you already have this
actually
thing.
The Wii U thing is also very appealing because Zombie U. it feels like you're playing almost 2 things at the same time in single player. But a smart glass, I don't need a map for Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I do. I'm not. I don't.
You don't know where you're at.
Some guy's named Snow.
There was
some guy's a midget, a little person.
I'm gonna get rid of this pillow because it just is going out of control. There was other cool stuff in the Little Big Planet 2 demo too. That I played a single player level where I started out just playing a level on the PS3 using the Vita as a controller.
Yeah.
But I would collect apps on the PS3, and after I collected my first one, it turned the Vita into a touchscreen with little helpful apps buttons on them, and I would press them, and it was totally programmed by somebody. It was made of stickers and all the stuff that you make levels out of, and so I could press a button and it would turn my Vita into a radar screen that I could find hidden items on the map, or I could use it as a grappling.
So it basically gave Sackboy an iPhone.
Yeah.
It turned Sackboy into Watch Dogs.
Yeah, and then in a cool part, I jumped down a pipe on the PS3 on the television, and I fell into my Vita, and then played a platforming level on my Vita, and then hopped back up into the TV, like in Four Swords Adventures. Oh, it was dope, and it was totally made out of the tools that they provide everybody. So
that's neat.
Yeah, I think it's really, really cool, and I can't wait to mess around.
Justin, did you see anything cool today?
I saw Amazing Spider-Man.
So Justin, did you see anything cool today?
I saw Amazing Spider-Man. It was cool.
So you're gonna tell us more?
Yeah, tell us more about it.
Well,
you doing all right?
It's hot under these lights.
Yeah, is that it?
Just think of all the vitamin D we're getting.
Uncle Ben.
Okay.
Is the uncle of Peter Parker.
I follow you,
Peter Parker is a student, and he got bit by a spider.
Go on.
Not a regular spider, gave him superpowers. And now, as the Caped Crusader Spider-Man, he swings through Gotham, righting wrongs on his silver surfboard.
Yeah, what's the cross rate?
Is that really how that works?
No, it's Amazing Spider-Man is a great looking. I don't know if it's good or not. It's a obviously ties in with the movie, the hit film Amazing Spider, soon to be hit film Amazing Spider-Man,
starring Facebook.
Starring Facebook, the inventor of Facebook, Spider-Man.
Garfield, right? Isn't that his name? Garfield the cat.
Andrew Garfield, and he.
The cat.
It is the third Spider-Man game developed by Beanox. It's the first one that actually looks worthwhile.
Sorry, Beanox.
Sorry, Beanox. I take that back. You know what? Shattered Dimensions wasn't bad. There's a lot of good ideas.
Is that the one with Neil Patrick Harris?
Yeah. There's a lot of good ideas, and it's that team, the Shattered Dimensions team, is the one that's making Amazing Spider-Man. They've been at it for around 2 years now, and it looks really good. Just forget Web of Time ever existed. So this is an open world. They're back to open world games, which is cool.
Yeah.
They got all of Manhattan there. The camera is actually one of the biggest changes, and this sounds like a small thing, but it's not really when you see it. The camera is pulled in actually really close to Spider-Man. It's almost like a Gears of War perspective, which makes the swinging really cool. There's great detail on the suit. It looks really realistic.
And there's battle damage on the suit, too.
There's battle damage on the suit. You actually have an apartment in-game that you can go into. You have to go and change when your suit gets damaged.
Or else your wiener comes out.
Or else your wiener gets out and everybody sees it. Is this the game?
Yeah.
You're not right.
This is like an iPhone game. I don't think this is the right game. It doesn't look like this. I think this might be the iOS version. Okay, so it looks better than this. I think that's the Wii version.
So 12-bit graphics confirmed. So Spider-Man's wiener. Tell us all about it.
Wait, just, a quick pause. If you wanna ask questions, share some opinions, we just tweeted out the link on the Polygon, at Polygon, or at CT Plant, which is me. And we'll probably tweet them out from Justin Griffin, too. So just look for it on Twitter.
Let's plug yourself?
I plugged myself.
Okay. So Spider-Man's wiener.
It's classic.
Okay.
It's a classic wiener.
No, that's always been my question about battle damage, is where does it stop?
It has to stop here.
All of his clothes falls off.
Yeah.
Then his skin, and then no muscles, and then no bones. And then
Wait, didn't they do that in Wolverine?
They did, yeah.
They did do that in Wolverine.
You're just atoms floating around. You're a single drop
You're
of blood.
a single
Oh, here
drop.
we go. Everybody, let's watch this.
Oh, wait, did they actually cut it the same way?
What? I think this part is maybe just the generic, regular Spider-Man footage, and then they go into the Wii version of the other one. But here, you can see with some of the combat, they've adopted these, they've taken inspiration from luchadors. So,
can you say that again? You had a really nice cadence.
Luchadors.
Oh,
it's
like you're eating,
it's much more
walnuts.
It's much more acrobatic and not so focused on like punch, 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 punch. It's more about flips and
having your mask revealed after a cage match.
No, that doesn't happen. But it looks excellent. And I'm genuinely excited about it. I'm a big nerd for Spider-Man games.
Did you want to be Spider-Man when you were a kid?
What?
Did you want to be Spider-Man when you were a kid?
Did I want to meet him or be him?
Be him.
Yeah, I had Spider-Man pajamas that I would sometimes wear underneath my real clothes.
Oh, I didn't wear them underneath my real clothes. I just wore them.
I would wear them underneath my real clothes, and then, when trouble would start brewing, I would hide behind the lazy boy, pull off my jeans and my shirt, and it's like, oh my God, where has Spider-Man been this whole time? He's been here.
Wow.
Like I had them underneath my clothes.
When he was in high school, he dyed his hair black and turned into a total bitch.
He was so emo.
Yeah.
Just listen to My Chemical Romance over and over. Wait, that's a little too young for you, I guess.
But yeah, so it looks great. I'm excited.
You see anything else?
Oh, can I talk about WebRush?
Yeah, tell us about WebRush.
It's got free swinging, like you can swing through the city, great. But WebRush is a mechanic where at any point you're moving along the city, you can hold in this button and the screen will basically slow down to almost a complete stop. And you'll see a silhouette of Spider-Man that you can point pretty much anywhere. And like, for example, if you put the silhouette of Spider-Man at the top of the highest building nearby and then activate your WebRush, it'll actually track a path through the city to get you to that point. So maybe he'll run across a bus and then jump up a building and scramble up the building and then leap off and run across a flagpole and do all this to get to that point. It's basically animating it with like whatever's cool nearby that he'll play off of. And you can pull out of that at any point. You can actually you can also redirect it on the fly. So like you don't have to freeze time. You can look at something else over here and press the WebRush button and you'll change your path so you'll leap over.
That's interesting. So you can go in and out of it.
Yeah, you can go in and out of it, and you can chain it.
Can you walk on the ground? Can you just like?
No, if
can you just like catch a
ground,
bus?
The ground is made of lava, which is a big.
Is it like written naturally into the plot, or is it?
Yeah, Dr. Lava comes and he fills the place with lava.
Oh wait, is the only way to be safe if you throw pillows on it, and then you have to hop between the pillows so you don't step on the lava on the ground?
Yeah, they're they're web pillows, but
web
sure.
pillows.
Yeah. So
we have a question.
Okay, give me some questions.
Man, this chat is getting rancorous.
What are people saying?
This is the worst. Nice jeans, stupid.
Okay.
Somebody wants to know if you saw a game that I know is dear to your heart that I also know you didn't see, Guacamelee.
I didn't see it.
No.
But you've seen it before.
What the fuck? What, am I going to talk about it again?
I don't know.
I remember I saw this game at PAX once. I was a young man. If it's terrible, like seriously, close the fucking window. You know what? It's 2012. There's lots of things on the internet that you can be watching right now. Go to hell.
Are there negative comments? I don't see any negative comments.
No, they're all positive. We put a special filter on your computer because we knew your heart couldn't handle it.
And tell your little twerp friends not to watch either. I don't have to deal with this. I'm 31 years old. I have 16,000 followers. Fuck you. You know who I am? Try to comment on my video. I see 2 dislikes. Everybody else liked the video because screw those guys.
Oh, they want to know if we're checking this chat. Yeah, we're checking the YouTube
I'm not.
chat.
I haven't checked the chat. I just have an outburst.
I'm
the
checking
doctor
it
says
now.
I have a problem.
I was checking the site one too. Oh, they do like your jeans. Where's Arthur Goose? Do you want to bring him out here? Oh,
Arthur Goose is gone. We have been abandoned. He went to play Halo.
Halo.
Man, one of us should have done that so we could have something interesting to talk about. I just talked about it too. Is there?
Go on. Go ahead.
I have questions. Question time is good.
Your jeans are sincerely nice. I wasn't being sardonic. Says the stuff uploaded.
I have mustard on these jeans, but I'm not going to say where.
How do you know it's your jeans?
People were saying they're having a good time. I appreciate that.
Good. I hope you're having fun. We're just friends. We're just friends hanging out, talking some games.
Oh, Justin, you whiny baby, and now I can't find any questions because everybody's complimenting you.
Exactly.
Ask us about anything.
I'll wave
at
it.
E3.
I'm waving. Ask us. Does anybody have any questions about E3? Fill us back up with some of your hot questions. Your jeans are. Oh wow. Is that up here? Oh no, it's just taking over the entire screen. I'm glad you posted that.
I know exactly how long the delay is.
Favorite game of the show? We just talked about that. We're 1 day deep.
One day deep. I'm hoping to see some more good stuff the rest of the days. I honestly, guys, the truth of the matter is, and if we're acting a little bitter, the big 3 and the big publishers, so far, not super exciting.
Let's just like.
I don't think they're excited though. I think it's just all very obvious that they're waiting for next year.
Right.
Except for Nintendo, which is like the call me perplexed because their console comes out this year, and I don't think they know that. Like I think like they didn't get that note, and they're gonna be
it's
really
surprised. Weird that they don't have a release date, they don't have pricing,
they don't have games.
They've got.
They
here's a list of the games that are coming out.
Yeah, they have Batman. They have. You can't count Aliens: Colonial Marines because that'll never come out on that system.
What about ME3? I hear ME3 is gonna have a new ending that you watch on your Wii U tablet.
It makes it make sense.
The whole time there's a narrative like, oh, get it? It was all indoctrination.
Okay, so we have a few games to talk about, and the big one is we're not talking about Sherlock Holmes. I'm really sorry. Oh, you said the F-bomb 3 times.
Let's talk about we watched.
Okay, the two things that people want to hear about right now that I can tell is Nintendo Land, which I can talk about, and Watch Dogs,
which we have not seen human to screen yet. We saw what you guys saw in the. I mean, we can talk about. What we saw in the E3 press conference.
Can I say some? I'll say some bad stuff about Nintendo Land, and you say the positive.
Okay, you say. Okay, you're gonna be in charge of the neggy. I'll be staying posy.
Well, let me give it a quick neggy. Finally, a minigame collection. Go ahead.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Staying posy. I played the Zelda Sword game, where you Zelda. Where you have like 3 or I guess up to 5 of you will be able to like walk around with swords, just swinging violently with your Wiimote at whatever comes in your way, and you're like on a track. You're just being taken on a track, just stabbing stuff. And then you have one person who's using the Nintendo Wii U controller, and they play the arrow guy, and they're kind of taking out the arrow snipers who are trying to shoot you. So the people with the swords have the option to shield or swing, and then the arrow guy is basically being like, oh, there's somebody trying to shoot us from the left. Everyone turn left and use your swords to take cover really quick while I take them out, and then you can go back to killing things with your swords. And that was pretty fun. There was like actual strategy. And that I do like Nintendo's mini games more than pretty much any other mini games because
they're good.
They're good. Like, and you get why they're good pretty right away. Like that, they had that Animal Crossing game where it's like, what a simple gameplay concept. Like, you're being chased, and you want to get these berries or candy or whatever from point A to point B. And if you get greedy, it'll slow you down. But if you don't get greedy, you can go fast. Like, that's simple. And you know it's going to get crazy, because Justin's going to play it, and he's going to get greedy right away.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying that he's a greedy man, and that you're going to play conservatively and probably win.
Yeah,
I'm conservative.
I'm gonna enjoy it all from my iPhone because it costs 99 cents.
Wow.
My bad. No, it's a whole thing on a disc. Like what? What are you saying?
Well, the game that you won't like then is there was the Ninja Star one where you slid things with your Ninja Star, and that really was like, this is a 99-cent game. Like, okay, I've done it. Like, I've hit all the bad guys with my Ninja Stars. Next.
But Nintendo Land is going to be 0 cents, right? It's got to be bundled with the hardware.
You think it's got to be, but Nintendo, they don't sell new systems at a loss. And if this system if it costs anything, maybe they won't package it in.
Maybe they'll sell a second gamepad with the disc. Maybe.
Oh, like
yeah, maybe. I mean that
play.
That can make sense.
Hey, who's that? What's that?
That's Chris. That's Chris Grant.
Oh, look, it's our boss.
Wow, it's a good-looking video.
It's like he's right
here. Here's what we're talking about. Look at that fast one run.
This is Sweet Day, right?
Look at that slow one. Oh, that slow one's
like
greedy.
they have the hardware required to run the graphically intense Animal Crossing engine. Like, why not just give me an Animal Crossing?
Graphically, that is the other thing. You see Pikmin. From far away, when I went into the Nintendo booth, I honestly was like, oh great, you're gonna go look at some Wii games.
Really?
I thought Pikmin looked because from far away, Nintendo Wii games look good. So like, it's kind of, you know, there's like a distance at which it doesn't really matter if it's high def or not, and like from that distance, it just looked the same.
Is that because of the actual graphical quality, or just because all Nintendo first-party games look the same?
You know what? I don't know. This could be way off, but I think Nintendo is so used to having crap graphics that their art design has basically been very minimalistic. That they don't put a lot.
That's not a bad thing,
in it.
though.
It's not. But when you see it in HD, it looks very bare. Like, it just looks very empty, which was kind of weird. And it might have even been why I like Zombie U so much, because it looked like it was like a real next-gen game, and it used these cool controls. But Nintendo Land, it's going to be a blast. We'd be kidding ourselves if we were really thinking it's going to be 15 iPhone games. It's not. It's going to be much better than that.
It's good for.
Give me that smile.
It's going to be good for the same thing that Wii Sports was good for. And I'm not selling it short. I'm being sincere. It's hey, come over and check out this thing that I have. It's like a great welcome party.
Yeah, but I was supposed to stay positive, and I'm bagging it. Here's the thing, though, about Nintendo Land. Their properties are, like, definitely well-known, right? But what was great about Wii Sports is I don't think my parents felt, like, weird about having people over. Because, like, everybody knows basketball and bowling.
Yeah.
And they don't know what Mii's are, so they're just like, cool. I think it's a little weird for my mom and dad to be like, hey, neighbor friends, let's come over and play the Zelda sword game and this Ninja Star game referencing a Famicom game that never came out in America. Like, it's a little bit, I don't know. It's a bit more core. Yeah. And the games are more complex. I think so. I think that Animal Crossing game is a lot more complex than, like, doing that. That was bowling, by the way.
Gotcha.
You got it? You got it? I'm going to look down at these comments. We got some more. There was another game I wanted to talk about. Oh.
Someone says coasters. They have an excellent point.
Wow, did somebody really say that?
Yeah.
Wow. Good point.
It's this guy's Loft that we're renting.
Wow. One thing before we get to Watch Dogs that I do want to talk about, because it right now might be, besides Watch Dogs, like my game of show. I'm throwing that out there.
Have you played it?
Game of show, not Watch Dogs yet. But the best thing that I've touched so far is Project P100.
Really?
Oh my gosh!
Give me the pitch.
I was
I
in
didn't
love.
I didn't get anything from that trailer.
I was in love. So, I mean,
it
is Matt stand up and gave me the thumbs up. Did anybody? Was it The Last Man, that PS3 game that used Google Maps and you like fought the zombie apocalypse? Last guy. And it kind of reminded me of that. And I don't even like. I'm not a big Platinum Games guy, but there's something about you starting out as like two people in this like everything's going down and you're like Americana town. And it had that same Americana vibe that like Earthbound had for me, where like everything's not really to scale.
God.
Where like there's like Corvettes, but they're like as big as a house, and then like this helicopter crashes, but it's like bigger than a city block. Like everything's like this really messed up idea of like what America may or may not look like. But then you get your people and you rally everyone you find, and it's just so joyful. Like the helicopter crashes and 4 helicopter pilots come out and you have like 10 people. And the way you rally them is you look down on your pad and you draw a circle around them. So all your people like form like a hand holding circle around them like, yay! And then like the guys come back to life and they're like, we're joining up. And then you have all these new recruits. That was perfect, whoever did that right there. So you like are making these little circles around them, and then you have to fight these giant things, which can take up the full screen. And then you form into these new things by just drawing little symbols.
Is this a 3DS game?
No. It looks beautiful.
Is it a Wii U game?
It's a Wii U game.
Okay.
And so you form like hands, and you can like uppercut them, or you can form guns, or you can form jello molds or swords. And these are like your superpowers. And then when you don't have that, you do rush attacks, where basically it's a last-ditch effort attack, where everyone just charges them and then just pounds on him. And this gives you more power, but it puts you guys kind of like in a weak spot. I don't know if they're going to show it in the trailer, but towards the end of the demo, you get on a robot that is like the size of the city. It's like super tall, and you're like 30 people are just on his hand fighting stuff. So it scales crazy style.
I like it.
I mean, it is just, everybody's been talking about E3 being like Murderville, like everything's about shooting people's faces off. And this is so refreshing compared to all this.
Could you just talk about that other part where rocket launchers were shooting planes out of the
Yeah,
sky?
but they're bad guy planes, and you're not shooting their faces off. Look how beautiful, colorful this is.
Wait, dead.
No, you don't know.
It's somebody's son or daughter.
That was a drone. Do you read the New York Times? It's the drones.
Rare earth minerals.
Rare earth minerals, says Activision. It was just great. Like, and this whole, I mean, you see so many sequels and so many shooters and everything, and this is a game that like I played it and I was just instantly, I was in love. So that's so far my big thing, and it's directed by Hideki Kamiya. I probably butchered that name, but it's the guy who directed the original Resident Evil and a number of other, Resident Evil 2, sorry. And name all of his games. I know you're gonna be able to list them by heart.
It looks like Beautiful Joe.
It does look like Beautiful Joe. Your characters look like Beautiful Joe in Okami. I mean, it just was great. It was great. It put me in a good mood. So are you watching these comments?
Yeah, I was just gonna dip over to the verge.com/gaming.
Oh, also, is Reggie aging? No, Reggie doesn't age. He is kept in a cream bath in the back of Nintendo HQ and just rubbed by interns all day.
We're live from the loft. We've got some more of your questions here. Don't forget to. Oh my God. Did anyone see Guacamelee?
Wait. I have to answer one hater. Great job stealing Giant Bomb's idea. This is a video screen, guys. I don't know if you've ever been on YouTube.
I hate it when Walter Cronkite stole this idea when Kennedy got shot. You fucking dullards. Jesus Christus.
Did anyone see gameplay of Beyond? I'm going to do something I shouldn't do. But if you go to NeoGaf right now, you can watch 25 minutes from the actual demo. Because, of course, a European outlet was allowed to see a video game.
Yeah, they hit it.
And you know what happens. European outlet sees a video game. What do? They break the embargo, they videotape it, and they throw it on the website.
They hit a webcam in a fez or something.
And the best part is you can see, like, everyone in front of them. So it's like, I don't know where that guy was sitting, except for he was sitting right next to Ben Silverman, so I'll just ask him.
Oh,
we got a question from Quick Blink. Anyone play Unfinished Swan or Soul Sacrifice?
Unfinished Swan, I played in 2008 at the Sense of Wonder night at Tokyo Game Show. And it is a much more polished version of that. It is great. I mean, if you've read our preview of it, which I don't know if you can make that up here, that's a great starting point. Yeah, of course.
Let's all just read it.
They can read it. I'll read it to you. I'll do a night reading. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same demo. The only thing about Unfinished Swan that's kind of hard to talk about is they're saying that Unfinished Swan. We'll throw it up there.
We'll throw it in here.
Oh, okay.
So help me God, if you put a picture of like a swan with like his head and wings cut off, I'll be super upset.
They gotta finish that swan.
Super.
But when I was talking to the developers, they said that the reason we hadn't seen it since 2008, because Sony made this 3-game contract with them, was that they couldn't figure out what to do after the first 15 minutes. Because it's a really cool idea, shooting these black paintballs to kind of form the world, which you're going to see in a little second. Wait 1 second. I'll let you see it first. You ready?
Do you know the ESRB rating?
EA? I don't know. EA?
K3A. So that's the company that made it.
So that's those guys. We got some burn-in.
Little screen.
So you are following this swan, and so far that's the story. And you fire these little black balls, and they basically reveals the world for you. So you have to fire ink to see what your surroundings are.
So basically, they just didn't want to make any graphics. Nice try, guys.
So you got them. But the thing is, apparently after this first 15 minutes of the game, it totally like changes up. And they said like every 15 or so minutes, like once you kind of expired a novel game design idea, they came up with something else. And they
guns, and then you shoot terrorists with them.
For whatever reason, Sony didn't want them talking about this, but they actually are working a lot with the God of War guys. Like the God of War animators are lending a helping hand on animating the Swan, and they've been like a big help, I guess, kind of helping them kind of find their feet as like young indie game designers, which is great. I don't know why Sony would be ashamed of that. Like having your AAA studio helping like a couple of kids who have never like released an official game before.
I love the part in Unfinished Swan when you cut a prostitute in half with a giant sword and leave her torso to open a door.
Yeah, they snuck that in.
Yeah. That's probably the best part of Unfinished Swan.
It looks a lot like, did you ever play Devil's Tuning Fork from the DePaul Game Studio?
Devil's Tuning? I didn't play that. You want to tell us
about it? You maybe haven't heard of it.
There was one game released on vinyl that you might not have known. Sniffum's Actual says, did any of you play The Last of Us? I didn't.
I haven't played it. I don't know if anybody's allowed to play it. I don't think so.
No, I think they're just doing a hands-off.
I think it's what you saw.
No, I think it's different.
Is it? is it different? Like where it's like there's like an extra 2 minutes at the beginning and the end?
I can't speak with
I don't know. We'll get someone to speak to that tomorrow.
We can all talk about how
we're gonna be here tomorrow and the day after that. And if there's anything you really want us to see, like The Last of Us and Watch Dogs, we'll get you the extra details on that.
Ross,
those seem to be the
Ross,
big
can
ones.
Can I get a little explaining about why you decided to choose a picture for the top of this post? This is me biting my lower lip like I'm trying to restrict a bowel movement.
It was energetic. No explanation necessary.
No explanation necessary. Good to know.
Do you guys want to talk about The Last of Us? Just
are we getting freeze on the stream? I just want to make sure that this is great.
Looks good to me. Anything cool on Vita? Well, Griffin talked about some of them for a while. You can go back to the beginning of the
I
stream.
played a Little Big Planet Vita, which is different from Little Big Planet 2 Vita crossplay. Real quick, it looks nice. I played a user-generated level that somebody made, even though the beta's only been out for like under a week. That was really neat. I don't know. I feel like I sort of blew my wad on Little Big Planet 2.
You got the Watch Dogs trailer? Let's pull it up. Somebody asked, sorry, I just lost the comment, so I apologize for not having your username. But why did Ubisoft win the press conferences?
Do you know what it was?
I don't know if win is the best word.
I think it's, whenever I watch those press conferences, I'm wanting to be surprised. And I don't think really anything in any of the other 3 press conferences really shocked me like Watch Dogs did.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
What I'm looking for is like new IP, and I'm totally cognizant of the fact that everyone is saving their new IP for the next console. I pray to Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And so it was nice just seeing someone, especially a studio as I don't know, as good as Ubisoft Montreal, being like, check it out, we still got some heat coming.
Yeah.
It may even be next gen, but we're gonna show it to you.
Yeah.
So that was. I don't know, put a skip in my step walking home from that.
It did. It felt good. A real quick pause before we go to Ubisoft. Oh, here it is. We should talk about it really quick before I go to this. This was... Why is another character named Jade in this game?
They love it.
They love that name.
That stuff.
They love naming characters Jade.
I am so excited there's a game in Chicago. I think that's going to be great for the city. It's what it really needs to revitalize.
And you said this, like, you recognized this area when you saw it.
Yeah.
Specifically this area.
Yeah, that's my favorite Resto Windy. That's my favorite.
You go to Resto Windy?
Mm-hmm. I go there for
Where
all
does
my
this logo
chai
mean?
lattes. That's Univision.
Oh, that's Univision?
Yeah,
You got it?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Watch Dogs a lot during our Ubisoft stream, but I just think it's a neat idea for a game. I like anything that I can imagine myself, like, after I play it, just walking down the street with my iPhone in hand,
seeing
like,
the world that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, before we get off Ubisoft really quick, one of the things that we talked about on the way back was there's, like, sometimes you feel like there's a lack of creativity in, like, when you go to these things, because you just see so many sequels and everything just feels really safe. EA's calendar last year, I felt like you could describe as like snowboarding game, fantasy game, war shooter game. Like it could be like you could bring it down to such a fine point.
They shook it up a little bit last
They shook it up.
Reckoning and
Reckoning was
SSX.
like the quintessential fantasy game. They literally hired everyone fantasy and made like fantasy the video game.
Yeah, but I mean, at least it was new
SSX
IP. At least it was
good.
trying something new. It was doing Fable better than the past Fable or 2 have done Fable.
I just don't think there's anything like about those games where I'm like, that's a real bold choice, EA. Well, when you go to Ubisoft, even their biggest game, Assassin's Creed, is like, oh, it's this game about
insane when you think
and
about
a history, assassin killers, starting
family of assassin killers.
starting in Jerusalem, going through the Renaissance, and the new game that everyone is batshit for is about a half Native American, half British colonialist rebel during the American Revolution, and also about 2012. like that's crazy, and people eat it up. People are like, that's not enough. Get me a game about New Orleans during the Spanish Franco War. Like that's what I really need, and people love it. And you look at their stuff, Rayman, which is like, old property.
I've got to stop saying it.
Rayman.
Like
everybody loves Rayman.
It's not that at all.
Rayman.
You messed it up.
Is it Rayman?
You've goofed like a dozen.
Rayman. Raymond.
Rayman.
Rayman.
Yo, my man. Yo, my man.
Yo, Ray.
Ramadan.
Rayman looked really good.
Rayman.
Um,
The games just look creative, and this was like the perfect example of that. And
there was other stuff too. Like I feel like they didn't waste much time. Like even those super awkward bits with Tabasco Pete. Like
Tabasco Pete.
We're over relatively quickly.
You know, Tabasco Pete actually sounds like a better name than Tabuscus.
Yeah, sure.
It's a more believable name. Let's see. Okay. Company of Heroes 2. If you want to know about what's up with Company of Heroes 2, go to the front page of our website right now. Rayman. Rayman. Yeah, that is good. Raymond. Oh my gosh. You're literally gonna have, if we ever post this stream as a downloadable, you're gonna have to go back and.
That was fair use.
That was fair use.
Fair use. Everybody loves Raymond.
Fair use.
We had context.
I love how you had to put it on the screen. Like have you ever seen Everybody Loves Raymond?
Has anybody
Here's
ever
a
seen
supplemental.
The most successful show on television.
I want to step out now, and I'm gonna grab my man Ross Miller to step in and talk about some of the stuff.
We
that saw.
subbing?
Yeah, we're subbing out.
Hold on one sec. Hold on.
Yeah.
You got BM?
No, I'm not gonna BM. I'm just gonna let Ross talk. I will probably BM, but it's not a necessity. It's a luxury. Ross. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Ross Miller.
Use your super mean comments.
Use your super mean comments to welcome Ross Miller.
That's gonna be deafening for everyone. Everybody, this is Ross Miller. You probably haven't heard of him, but he's.
You've heard of him. He's wonderful.
I'm just saying, he's pretty underground right now.
You probably haven't heard of me now.
Before you get into you.
We're 8.
Before we go forward, just so you guys know, Star Wars 1313, we might have later tonight a discussion about that once we get some more people in here. Other stuff that people are asking about. Let's see. Nintendo's video on demand. Yeah, are we disappointed that Sony and Microsoft didn't mention the next gen at all? I'm
more
surprised.
disappointed that Sony barely mentioned the Vita at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this generation we really need to worry about right now.
Well, I guess, do handhelds actually count in the generation dialogue?
It's their new generation, I guess.
It's the one that they're going to have for a long time, and they barely talk. I just dropped so much money on that thing, man. I hope they keep it around for at least a little bit, but... one of the comments we had from I don't know how to pronounce it, but BGRL Ben was... Bigger old Ben. Please tell me, he was a regular commenter, please tell me the Vita's showing was stronger on the floor than at Sony's press con. It was. It was. In the actual booth, they had is Unfinished Swan a video game?
No.
Scratch that. It was a joke.
They had Cinemora, which is available on the XBLA.
They have all the
right
Vita
now.
versions. They have like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and they have I don't know if they have Battle Royale on the floor on Vita. They have Little Big Planet Vita. They have Soul Sacrifice. They honestly do have games. There are games coming out for it that are exciting. They just apparently did not want to talk about.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
$250.
It's money.
Go on to the next question.
Really quick to talk about Company of Heroes 2 because I just saw it. And like I said, it's on our front page right now if you want to read about it. It sounds good. You don't have that a lot at E3 where like you go into a game and the audio just blows you away.
Now, when you say blows you away, you mean actually quality, not the whole. They're cranking the sound system up.
No. It was not.
loud.
It wasn't super loud. We had headphones on because THQ. Well, I'm not gonna get into that. But with the space we were in, you needed headphones. So you had headphones on, and it wasn't blasting. The audio was just perfect, and the audio sold it. You're the Russians fighting against the Germans in World War II, and you're just clumping through the snow. That sounds. There's a
I'm sorry, we're distracted.
No, it's okay.
Off camera,
awesome.
there's someone blowing up balloons.
But the sound of it is just great, and they said they did all this live recording where they actually dug up the old historic weapon. And could that be a more comical sound? It would only be better if you
Stop. Yeah, that was that game he was talking about. The Russians, they're always getting into hijinks.
No,
in
but
World
no,
War
it
II.
was great because all live recordings of these real weapons from the war. And it just, I don't know how to describe it any better than it just sounded realistic. It sounded terrifying.
Because you yourself, a veteran of
I have
Russian
no
machine
idea what it
gunnery.
sounds like, but it sounded like
Sounds
what
like,
it
you
would
know,
sound like. It sounded like.
Which is very high pitch
But
in 27.3.
the dark part about this game though is people just die like crazy. Like it's a real-time strategy game. So in my head I'm used to like.
Wait, on a range from Rambo to Hot Shots Part 2.
No, it's very realistic. It's like very realistic, which is why people die like crazy. Because it's like it's this battle that
I
was
like
called.
you keep calling this realistic because you're an expert of guns and killing people.
No, because I'm sorry.
high-powered guns.
I'm sorry. I was a history double major. I'm sorry.
Man.
A history double major. I'm sorry. A history double
We're all
major.
super impressed.
Okay, if you say it 3 times, it doesn't make you a sectuple major. Or anything.
Okay, but the point is, so you're controlling like your squad, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
this is my squad. I'm gonna start with this squad, and I'm gonna end with this squad. So you like do a good job. You flank this little fort. You blow up the gate, and you just burn the guy's house down. You're like, yeah, my squad is tough. And then you start pushing back the Germans, and you're like, yeah, they're running. Man, they're running real fast, right? Boom! And then the shells just like crush you, and all of the bodies flying in the air, and you're like, man, I'm dead. And then the game just moves. That's just like part of the game. It's like that was your squad
That's
briefly,
haunting.
and they're gone now. So then you get another squad. You go up a little further, and then you're clearly overwhelmed. So there's nothing to do but turn around. And then it plays this little scene where it's the people that you're running back to. It zooms in on them, and the guy's like, sir, they're running back. And he's like, well, you know what you have to do. And he's like, I don't know, sir. He's like, you have to shoot them all. And then all the guys that you were just playing on, you just get mowed down by a machine gun. And like, that's how Stalin plays, baby. That's how he plays.
Is there a D-Day sequence where you're just like...
No, it's the Eastern Front. So D-Day was like more like Company of Heroes 1. This is Russians versus Germans.
It wasn't all just one big war?
Okay, here's the thing about history majors. We know a little bit about history.
Wait. History major, history double major. This is very important.
Well, it was my second major.
What was your first major?
I don't want to talk about it.
No, please.
Come on.
It was dramatic writing.
You must believe me. I wrote dramatic writing.
Somebody was asking about Battle Royale. Can we have a civil conversation about...
I don't think we can.
No, next question.
No,
Oh, you know what we can talk about? We can talk about...
I mean, let's talk about Battle Royale, because we've played it, right? Did you play it?
I played it a while ago.
It was great when that schoolgirl who played Go-Go from Kill Bill came in, killed... No, not this.
Oh, God.
Before we get into this, because it's going to take a while, I'm going to answer a few questions.
Okay.
None of us have seen Soul Sacrifice yet.
Nope.
No.
We're going to get on that. I can say the video that was made available was not super impressive.
I mean, as cool as the game sounds, the B-roll, I guess, that they were showing for that game looked awful. Like, you couldn't see anything that was happening.
Yeah. Did any of you play Last of Us? We're going to get to Last of Us tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I do not think it is playable, though.
But we don't think it's playable. Insomniac's Overstrike was the first thing I thought about after the EA conference ended. I don't think it's gone. Just because they announced another Ratchet does not mean that it's over. Also, Insomniac is working on a Facebook game right now, I believe, with EA. So I'm sure that relationship is still there. That they're not showing it, I just wouldn't read too much into it. You never know what that means.
Any Sound Shapes impressions?
I haven't played it.
I haven't played it since it was here.
For a while, but I mean, it's great. Every time I play it, it's great.
Yeah, it's delightful. Are they showing? They are. They're showing off the Jim Guthrie and the Super Brothers level.
Yeah. We'll check that out on the
nice
show
to
tomorrow
see.
and on the floor tomorrow and talk about that.
Metal Gear Solid Rising.
I saw this at Best Buy last week. There was a trailer.
Wow.
That's
seriously
really
about it
that's
we've seen.
extremely helpful. Has Square Enix said anything about anything?
They've announced I mean, all their games look pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Be more specific on that one. We'll get back to that. Gaikai on the PS3. I just spoke with the Gaikai rep, and he went, I was like, what does that mean? And that was about it.
When asked for clarification, he went,
so I don't know. I think he was just pulling my leg.
They pull out a kazoo.
They did just go to, what was it, Samsung TVs?
Sure.
Yes, which you can read about on The Verge.
You can. Also on Polygon.
And also on Polygon. Anyone heard or seen anything on Animal Crossing 3DS? Sadly, no. We think there will be more 3DS games maybe tomorrow on the show floor. There was such a paltry showing on the show floor of 3DS games. There was basically 2 girls with 3 3DSs strapped to each of them, just kind of
like 3DS octopus.
And it was so depressing because they were just mobbed by 5 guys, and of course the guys who go up to these women are the ones who grab the 3DS. They don't play it. They're just like, so you live in LA?
I have you now.
Yeah. It's like,
you are hereby tethered. Come with me.
it is horrible. About as easy.
Nintendo, will you stop attaching things to women, please? Will you please just take a second and stop attaching things to women?
Are you saying this is not equal opportunity?
No, I'm saying just stop attaching things to women is what I'm saying. I own many things, none of which are attached to women. It's really easy for me. What I do is I just have the things and then I don't tether them to women using rope or cord.
Speaking of, Soccer Hopeful 143 asks, you guys tapping some hot E3 ass? To which I can say, no, we're all staying in very small rooms together on futons.
Oh, this is next-gen Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so
this
is a concept video of their new engines. And the guy who asked about what Square Enix was up to, they just...
there we go. This is the answer.
We're watching this for the first time alongside you guys.
There you go.
This is a...
Is there any audio for this?
There is.
Well...
He's angry.
Wait, they had real guns.
Yeah, you got guns in this.
Does this mean that we can expect the next gen to look better than this if they're exclusively developing for Sony?
This is for all platforms.
Oh, it's all platforms.
So where's the mana? Oh, there we go.
We have...
Yeah, let me...
I'll pop out.
He's going to publish this. Tell the people he's going to publish McWhorter.
Okay, McWhorter is going to publish the story about this crazy trailer we are seeing, which supposedly looks like what it'll be in the next gen, which looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like great pre-rendered cinema that's not going to be even close to what it looks like in real life.
Yeah.
But that is great.
But Square never does that.
No, of course not.
You want to sit down and talk about it?
Sure. Uh-oh.
Okay,
Oh.
here, I'll treat you
I
first.
know, because I just read the press release.
Do we have room for 3?
No, we don't have any.
You also have to take my spot.
Okay. Do you want?
You switch me.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Give him your mic.
Yep, I'll do it.
I mixed you down, so you can't.
I survived 1 round. Is that a Coke bottle?
She's healing herself with the Coke.
This is great product advertisement, and it's refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so what is actually going on right now?
Wait a second. He's gonna...
There, everyone except Mike can talk. We've gone full screen on the video.
Oh, so while you get this, pantomime what's going on, because that's going to be helpful.
So here's what I can tell you what I know about this.
Beautiful.
And I only know because I just read the press release and posted the video and wrote the story. But this is a demonstration of Square Enix's new Luminous Studio, I think it's called.
Okay.
And it's basically their pitch for next-gen video game action, you know?
Did they say who directed this?
No, they did not. They just said that it was built by one of their internal studios. And yeah, so this is all real time, they say. And
Horse sapples? Sorry, that was a reflex.
but they say it's for next generation platforms, basically, and PC and the web and mobile devices. Yeah, so this is called Agony's Philosophy. It's just a tech demo, but they say that it's seen through the lens of the Final Fantasy series. So take of that what you will, but I guess this is their, this is their console generation bullshit video that they're going to put out. So
I mean, I'm glad somebody's doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, agonies, not agonies.
Agonies, yes. I'm sure that in Japanese it sounds like agony, but yeah. Luminous Studio, that's their whole thing. Here you can see who directed it.
Okay.
Yoshihisa Hashimoto. I'm sure you're familiar with his or her work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
household name in America.
Yeah.
So, is that Wii U? Is that what we just watched? Just break it down for me. Tell
It
me
might
the
be.
truth.
And I don't know.
Was that Xbox 720?
They didn't say. They didn't say. They just said it was running in real time. They didn't say.
Here's a nice video we made.
Yeah.
Well, they also did that with Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Yeah. Yes. I saw that in the theater, by the way.
I did too.
Yeah, that's really.
Steve Buscemi's finest work, if we're being honest.
Yeah. So basically, they didn't really say what platforms or what it was running on. I assume it's running on some very nice-looking, expensive PCs right now.
Yeah.
But they said it was. They basically said it's like essentially for PlayStation 4 and the next Xbox, and yeah, there you go. There's a bunch of. I'm actually going to put up a gallery of all the 1080p shots that they have released so far. So that's it. Agnes Philosophy running on Luminous Studio. It's their third next-gen engine because Crystal Dynamics has the Crystal engine and IO Interactive has Glacier 2. So
tell us what you know about Final Fantasy Versus 13.
I know that they announced it.
That?
I know that they announced it in 2006, and that it is not out yet.
Okay. All right.
And
tell us what you know about Final Fantasy 14.
That version 2.0 is either due for release or has been released, and nobody would really care
Tell
if
us
it
what
was.
you know about Final Fantasy 6.
And also, after that, Agito 13.
Final Fantasy Agito 13 was turned into Final Fantasy Type 0.
Okay.
So there you go. Period.
You,
the end of that
I
sentence.
was actually quizzing you there.
Yeah.
And you passed.
It's pretty good.
You get a gold star.
I actually already have a gold star. Okay. I can run and get it if you want proof.
This might be actually very important.
I'm seeing some comments now saying, I think Mike McWhorter's full of bullshit. He's never earned a gold star for anything in his life.
Technically, the bullshit has a asterisk in it.
Stand right now.
Hold on. I'm
gonna
I'm gonna call my mother, and we're gonna get her on the show.
Okay.
Let me see if I still have my
that was a
gold
little
star.
anticlimactic.
Yeah.
I mean,
but,
it looks.
But it's a Final Fantasy thing.
Yes.
It's always anticlimactic.
Yes, I do have one.
No. I mean, I don't know. Somebody kicked in the door. Was like, "New Final Fantasy," and then like 35 seconds later, it was like, "Nah, dog, it's just a video."
Peep this shit.
Oh, look
Okay.
at that. What's that from?
Yeah, suck it. Gold star.
What did you? Do you just carry that around with you?
Yeah.
Did you get that at Nintendo's booth today?
Yes.
Can I read the back of this?
It's just the press site badge. I don't know if it's a sticker, but it is
Oh,
a
no,
gold,
you know what it is?
technically
Wait.
a gold star.
Property of Russ Frushtick. If found, please return to proper owner.
Why would you steal Russ Frushtick's
Do
star?
such a thing?
He asked me to hold on to it for him.
I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna be like, "No, it's a shuriken," and I was gonna throw it. But is that? Do you need this?
No, I don't need it.
Okay.
Actually, not a bad throw.
This is
Yeah.
pretty good.
It's fun.
Well, I'll get it later. Don't worry
You're-
about it. I'll get it
oh,
later. Don't
yeah.
worry about the. I'll get it.
It's cool. Thank
I'll
you.
get it.
Thank you.
Mike, have you played anything that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about?
Well, I played Game and Wario today. There's a video
Tell me
game
about
called
that.
Game and Wario.
Oh yeah, is this the one that like
It was
got
on
you
the list,
really
but-
excited on
Yeah.
accident?
So don't get too excited. Okay, so I played Game and Wario today. I played all 4 of the mini games, not micro games. I'm going to stress that.
How do they fuck that up? You've got a good Wario minigame collection already.
Yeah, so you were at E3 2011,
Yeah.
correct? And you saw a lot of those Wii concept videos. So some of that stuff has kind of been shoveled out of that video and put into a pile called Game and Wario.
Okay.
And it is not a collection of micro games. It's a collection of mini games that show off various Wii U gamepad
So, like,
things.
Like the Metroid thing with the ship flying overhead and the 2 people having
No.
to look up and shoot it, or
No,
what?
it's not that. So there was like one. There was one. This was a real quick cut
Okay.
A deep cut.
Go.
From the video where it's like kind of panning around with the Wii U gamepad, and it's like a little photo snapping thing. So there's one game that's vaguely Pokemon Snap-like.
I saw that story and I was like, Pokemon Snap. And
yeah, just everything about
how much
Game and Wario just kind of throttle it back a little bit because right now it's looking okay.
When you throw Pokemon Snap around, my engine just like go like you know how when people ride a motorcycle and they want to like go.
I think you kick and then you.
Is that how it works?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's 4 games so far, and they're called Arrow, Shutter, and 2 other things, and they're really simple things. So it's called Game & Wario because it's kind of like Game & Watch. It's a little play on Game & Watch. Even though these games have nothing to do with Game & Watch, there's some like, they use the Game & Watch typeface for all these things. And you know, Game & Watch games had really simple titles like Chef and Balloon and Oil Panic. Pump.
Do.
Yep. Press.
Become.
Ooh. That was great. No, but it's so they showed 4 games. Arrow is when you take the Wii U gamepad and you kind of pull down on the touchscreen and launch some arrows that have Wario noses at the end of them, and you fight Wario bots. And then there's a game called Fruit. And what you do is this is a game up to 5 players where only one person has the controller, and it's as exciting as it sounds so far.
I'm just so enthralled right now.
Yeah, so what you do is you how many people are still watching? So what you
2. And they're all asking about Battle Royale. But finish.
Okay. So yeah, the games kind of suck. I'll leave it at that. The games are kind of boring.
Did you not ask just make another micro games game because those usually do pretty well?
Well, clearly they did not use the WarioWare title for a reason, because this is not a WarioWare game. They use a lot of the art style, they use a lot of the characters, but the games are they take minutes to play, they don't take seconds to play. And they're okay, I'm maybe being a little bit hard on it because I saw Wario, and then I saw this game's kind of like Pokemon Snap in parts, and then I continued to play it and it just kind of plummeted a little bit, so. I don't know.
That's rough, man. Yeah. Why not fold that into Nintendo Land?
I don't know. It's kind of strange.
Why have 2 first-party minigame collections from the jump? Why not make your one?
I don't know. Maybe they've only showed 4 games, and they say that they're going to have more. So maybe the other games will redeem themselves. But right now, they don't really look that great. They don't look like they can support a full Nintendo game. So maybe this will be the pack-in. I don't know.
On that note, though, are you talking about that? You were talking about that Metroid game from last E3.
Yeah.
That is so fucking good.
It was really fun.
Was that a Chase Me? Was that a variation on Chase Me?
No. The Chase Me.
Was it Shoot Me? What was it?
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was the one where somebody flew a ship and tried to take out 3 people on the floor, and the 3 people on the floor tried to take out the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really neat, and I haven't seen that this year at all.
No, but Chase Me kind of transformed into that Animal Crossing
Sweet
Day. Yeah.
Right.
So maybe we'll.
Great. Sweet Day.
Sweet Day.
Can everybody in the room just say Sweet Day out loud?
Sweet Day.
Sweet Day.
Isn't that nice? That's good for the soul.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Battle Royale. Have you played Battle Royale?
I have played Battle Royale.
What do you think?
PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah,
I have played.
What do you think about it?
I thought it was actually pretty good. I was not super crazy about the idea of a Smash Brothers clone, which is essentially what that game is.
Yeah.
But they have taken some very interesting liberties with the characters, I think. And I really like the stages. They're very inventive, especially that Little Big Planet / Buzz quiz stage. I don't know if you're familiar with what happens there.
Yeah, so I got this. Did you see this part of the stage?
No, I only played the Patapon God of War
yeah.
stage,
But still, that's cute, right?
Fun, yeah. And it had all kinds of neat interactive environments, which was cool.
Yeah, no, the quiz thing was actually pretty cool. So we're in the middle of the Little Big Planet level, and then all of a sudden...
which is being created in real time.
Right, you
so
can actually
the
see
puppet
the edit
is
when
there.
it's too.
Yeah.
And then Buzz comes up, and they ask a question.
I do not know who that is.
Buzz...
I'm just kidding. I know who that is, but...
Lightyear?
I bet
you know.
No, nobody else does.
Blasto.
Nobody sitting in this room knows.
Fill in the blank. To infinity and...
Oh, Beyond? Or are you doing a Toy Story joke?
I got
Beyond
busy.
Two Souls? Are we talking about Beyond Two Souls?
Sorry.
Big Daddy's on screen. Everything... Well, never mind. He's gone now.
So...
Okay, so Buzz, you're familiar with Buzz,
Yeah.
So the Little Big Planet editor has made a tree, right? I think it's like a tree that they make.
Something
Some
like
platforms.
that. There are things you can stand on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, then we just saw a flash of the level there. But then the Buzz host comes out and asks a trivia question. That's a PlayStation trivia question. So they ask you in what year was the original PlayStation released. And then there are 4 platforms, and there are answers hovering above those 4 platforms. And you have to get your character onto the right platform to answer it correctly. Neat. Yeah, and so people can they're all kind of getting onto the same spot and battling and trying to push each other off.
That was the question you got? I would never have been able to answer that.
Well, that was one that I had seen a long time ago, but they have a bunch of different questions. They're all PlayStation related. I think.
What was Parappa? Is he a dog? Is he a bird?
He's a dog.
Yeah.
He's a bird?
Yes. They're like dog, bird, chicken. You know who didn't get right? The guy who was playing as Parappa. So there are 3 people on one platform.
He had to have thrown that. Oh, he looks like a bird, this guy, who I'm paid to know about and also am looking at with my eyes now. Are those ears or wings? No.
Must be wings. From the head.
I played it today for the first time, and I think my biggest problem with it is the fact is the death mechanic for it. It's the they've aped so much from Smash Brothers, except the one thing that it lets you know how you're doing at Smash Brothers.
They really don't communicate that you're
they don't
going
at
to
all.
die.
Was there a health bar and I just couldn't see it? Like,
if there was, I didn't see it either.
If I remember correctly, no, there's no health bar. But if I remember correctly, it indicates your general health or your death is imminent by your character. They're flashing or glowing. There's some visual treatment that tells you, hey, you're about to die, and so you better. I think you have regenerating health, and you can kind of get out of the action.
It just doesn't. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
In Smash Brothers,
these little meters are for your super levels.
Right. Yeah. In Smash Brothers, I know when I'm about to die based on how far I'm flying up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a super easy way for me to know where I'm at health-wise.
As well as the giant freaking number at the bottom. Too.
Yeah, a humongous number. But in this, the only thing I could do was try and keep an eye out for when my opponents were glowing, which indicates that they have the super attack, which is what kills you instantly, and just try to stay away from them. And even that isn't enough sometimes because you can be killed not by a super move.
Yeah.
But I could never tell when I was weakened.
I thought what was so much fun about Smash Bros. Is there was an incentive not to die. You want to rack that percentage up as high as you can, stay in there, keep those lives, whatever. Here, I didn't even notice when I was flashing dead, and then I was back a second later anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Wait, so did you play with Big Daddy?
I played as Big Daddy.
Oh,
That probably wasn't the best.
Why not? Slow and lumbering type?
No, it was really unbalanced, it felt like.
Oh, really?
I won by a margin of 10 points, and I had never played the game before.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, his attacks aren't. He has this one crazy rush attack that takes up half the screen and just knocks everybody back, which I kept using because his other attacks were a little weak.
Well, I had felt that Kratos felt really overpowered when I had played it when Big Daddy was not available. So I felt the same way. Yeah.
When the score screen came up, too, and it also happened, there was actually an audible laughter in the Sony press conference when the score screen came up and everybody is totally surprised by whatever score they got. Because you can't keep track of it. Because it also doesn't do a great job of even telling you when you kill somebody.
Yeah.
You use your power attack and then somebody just vanishes in front of you, and that's how that indicates that they have died.
But they're back a second later.
They're back a second later.
To where they died.
Yeah, and my score came up. I was like, oh, I got 10 points that round. I did pretty good, I guess. In Smash Brothers, I almost always knew, what place I was in when the match ended.
Right.
Yeah, it was a little difficult to keep track of what was going on. But
is it too late for them to change that for Battle Royale?
Perhaps. When is that game coming out? This year? By the end holiday?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure Sony in the chat is going to yell at us and tell us.
Yeah.
All right, a couple of questions here. We've got, has Call of Duty Black Ops been confirmed for Wii U? And has anyone seen anything on Grand Theft Auto 5?
Nothing on GTA 5.
Not a single bit.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was not on Nintendo's list of games that were due this holiday
I think
and launch window.
No, I don't think it's... Well, that's one that could have... Black Ops 2 is out October 11th?
No, it's November
10th.
Yeah.
Okay. I got my My number's all British. Yeah, no, I don't think they've announced that.
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if it were to come out in the springtime, because Activision likes making money, and they're not shy about putting games on the Wii. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Wii U version of Black Ops 2.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
What do we got?
Will there be any hands-on with the smart glass at E3 or a prototype to look at?
Well, we did have a hands-on last night at the showcase.
How was it?
Same thing you saw in the press conference.
Yeah. Did it feel? What were you smart glassing on? I'm guessing a Windows phone or something.
Yeah. So I mean, same thing. You can They're saying you can smart glass on other things. On
sure,
iPads.
but they're not going to have a iPad at their. Yeah.
I mean, most Microsoft reps you see are rocking the Lumia 900. They've got the Samsung tablet or whatever.
I don't know what any of these are. What are these things?
Okay, if I ripped the keyboard off of this right now.
Yeah.
Like that, but about an inch thicker.
But then I couldn't type on it.
Yes, a full inch thicker. Sorry, our producer's just laughing at us.
He's a real Lumia fanboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. I have no idea.
I mean, it's just whatever.
Yeah. So what did you do with it when you smart glassed?
As the name suggests, there was glass, and I felt a whole lot smarter looking at it.
Yeah. And so you touched it, and what did you do?
I had the almighty power of the smart glass.
Did you design just some Madden NFL plays on the fly?
No, like none of that was like being shown. It was just like, you can look at Westeros on a map while you watch Game of Thrones, because God knows that is a very confusing fictional world.
And that's what I often find myself doing. I'm like, where are they?
When I'm watching,
geographically? I hate looking at this TV that the show's on.
When I'm watching Game of Thrones and I'm seeing a bunch of people, having weird orgies and talking about the politics of fiefdom and whatnot, I can't help but think, where exactly in the fictional universe are they having an orgy?
Yeah, and kind of like, what was their route?
Can I track the orgies
how did they get there?
on a per orgasm basis in the Game of Thrones series?
Now, that would be great if you could do a real-time search for available
just data
orgies.
Visualization.
Can I draw what Khal Drogo's wiener looks like?
You can on the Wii U.
Really?
Why not?
Yeah, sure. It's got a stylus. Yeah. Let's go crazy.
So that actually reminds me. Not we.
Oh, there you go.
We watch this.
I mean, we can talk while it's going on behind us. We don't have to bring.
I was gonna change the subject, but.
Trying to watch this.
Yeah, this is captivating for our live audience that we're just gonna stare at the screen.
Yeah, so this is so the smart glass is going to replace the Xbox companion app that is currently on Win 8 tablets.
So. It feels like it's like something like the companion app on steroids.
Yeah.
It's more close to like what Apple TV's been trying to do, like sharing screens and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be the big thing this year. Like there's a tech trend. It's that you can't game on just one screen anymore. Like you can connect your Vita to your PlayStation 3. Your Wii U has a giant touchscreen that you still need to use a stylus for. And smart glass, use whatever else you have and touch it.
I mean, that's it, though, isn't it? After that, that's like the only thing that tech hasn't done yet.
What,
right?
Bring another screen?
Just double the screens.
Just double. Well, the DS did that.
Triple that shit, then.
Yeah.
Tripled it.
Where can we get a third screen for the DS? Where would we put it?
Can we use the DS with our Wii U?
How much would you have flipped out if Reggie had been like, oh, and finally, let's just get out this DS. What's this? And then third the third screen out from it.
Wow, that would be...
This one's a touch screen, this one's not a touch screen, and this one's not a screen at all.
But you can touch it.
But you can touch it. It's
Wow.
a fingerprint scanner.
So speaking of Nintendo, so...
It's a mirror.
Why aren't you working there? Why can we fire you so you can get a job at Nintendo?
Nintendo?
And,
Fire
R&D.
You know what I would call it?
We don't even pay them.
Oh well, even better.
Do you know what I would call that handheld? I would call it the 3DS. Oh shit! Thank you. Dishonored. Did we see Dishonored?
I didn't see it. I've seen some animated GIFs of it.
Yeah.
Which have looked pretty great. I mean, yeah.
If the game is nothing but GIFs, I'll play the shit out of it.
Has there been a game about GIFs yet? Because that should probably happen pretty soon.
Pretty much like WarioWare.
I guess that's true.
A ton of interact. I keep wanting to say shit again.
Our website is kind of a game about GIFs if you think about it. You just can't interact with really, except you can make comments and make.
You can interact by adding to the GIF combination. So, if you heard a loud bang, Chris Plant is proving he can use a gun.
I killed a man.
Chris Plant killed a man.
So, speaking of killing men.
E3, right.
E3. I want to say poor Phil Kohler took one for the team and went to the Wii U developers roundtable meeting this afternoon.
I saw some kvetching about that.
It was 90 minutes of a producer talking about the Nintendo press conference. There was Nintendo Land discussion again.
I heard, there was one extra Nintendo Land theme park shown.
I think so. Yeah. But the one thing that actually came out of it that was maybe worth anything to remember is someone actually asked him about, can you take your Wii content and move it to the Wii U? And the producer said, yes, we're working on a system to take your Wii games, your downloads, your save files, move them to the Wii U.
I'm sure it's just as easy as taking a cord and plugging it from one to the other, right?
It's probably just a transfer cable.
You just press a button and then it just goes from it?
I guess.
I'm sure you don't have to download an app on each one.
Well, you're thinking with your brain.
And then watch as Tiny Mario's push it across your rug.
Mario is just pushing through it. Whatever happened to that? Did that just become Pikmin?
It became nothing. So. Can we all let's do a little segment of the show called, hey, where the hell is the Last Guardian? Or, any other, what's missing this year?
Well,
other than the last
Guardian, Grand Theft Auto 5, but
Overstrike.
Well, nobody thought.
No,
but I mean,
because Rockstar doesn't come to E3,
no,
so
it's
it's
super cool.
Yeah.
Overstrike. That one's weird.
I disagree with Chris Plant in saying that there's nothing to be read from Overstrike not being
dead,
here. No, I think it's next gen. Next gen.
Next gen level, definitely.
Yeah. Now it's running on Luminous Studio. Oh yeah.
It's running on the studio.
Oh yeah. That's what they call it. That's their game engine, Luminous Studio. Yeah.
That was weird. Like that seems like such a big developer to me. And was it the only original IP that EA announced during their press conference last year? I remember there wasn't a lot.
I don't remember.
I think it was. I don't think there was that much coming
Yeah.
from EA last year in the way of new IP. Yeah, that's weird to me
that's an EA Partners game, right? That technically falls under the EA Partners philosophy.
I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Where's Brothers in Arms Furious 4?
I think they're still working on that. I think. That's not here. They've got other games they got to work on. They got Borderlands and Aliens isn't out until next February, so they're busy. They got new Duke Nukem too. They gotta work on that stuff.
Right. Are you reading that one?
Sure. So, other than the console gaming zone, any cool sites in the PC area?
I've got one.
Oh, really?
I played.
Thank God,
I didn't play.
do not.
I checked out the multiplayer for SimCity today.
Oh.
It's really cool.
I like the look of that game.
It looks fantastic. We were actually interviewing one of the guys, I think the producer on the game, and Justin. We were talking about the multiplayer and the interaction of basically you make a city, and then when you basically sign a pact that says you're going to be close to a friend's city, and Justin said, and then both of you create high schools in your cities, and then they have a bitter rivalry, and then he basically said, "Yep." Like, oh, okay, because he was telling a joke. That's crazy that that's in the game. But there's so much interaction between the three, or they were showing off a demo that had these three burgs that were all working together, and they were so different from each other just because of the decisions that the people who made them had made. Like, one was a blue-collar industrial city with, all kinds of mining and alloy smelting that had just turned it into a toxic wasteland, but a very productive, energy-rich toxic wasteland, while there was the somewhat cleaner tourist attraction city that didn't have much business of its own, but it could bring in population and finances for everyone else. And then there was the, what was the other one? There's just a normal town that could be influenced. All of them were influenced by each other. So, the industrial city didn't have a great education system, nor did it have a good police force. So teen crime was going crazy, and once it connected with the other like normal city, that crime started to flow through the roads like to that city and started to pollute that town too, as did the actual literal pollution.
I almost feel like that's the closest thing to like a militarization of a city-on-city warfare in SimCity. Like, yeah, but you can't have armed guards that you send to other cities, but...
No, but you have to, it's not just about, like, wrecking other people's cities. You can give them the good stuff, too. Like, when they connected, the industrial city gave the other city all kinds of power that it didn't have because it was only using wind energy.
Can I also give it my crack epidemic?
Yeah, you can send all the crackheads. You can actually sprinkle the road out of town with crack, like some sort of Pied Piper.
It's just like, it's like a, what are those? The trail of peanuts you have in the woods or something like that.
So you can play.
Yeah, the trail of peanuts. That's my favorite Mother Goose. Right? It was Hansel and Gretel with the peanut trail?
Something like that. You know, it was a Grim Tale or something.
Dummy. But all three of the cities in this demo were also working together on what was called a Great Works, which was an international airport that took like weeks to build, weeks of in-game time, and everybody was collaborating to build it because it brought all kinds of tourism and freight into all three of their cities, but they had to give up, their workers to build it. They had to give, the industrial city had to make alloys that could build the airport. So there really is a lot of neat collaboration in ways that you may not realize are happening at first, but the game has a really great way of tracking like everything you're doing and all the data that you can see through, what is it, Glass, what's the name of the engine that it's running on?
Is it just the Glass engine? I don't remember.
It's Glass Box.
Maybe?
That's going to bug me. Anyway, yeah, it looks really neat. I'm looking forward to that one a lot, and I wasn't before I checked out the demo.
It's got a little that tilt shifting effect, and Project P100 also has some of that.
Yeah.
Now, all right, I'm going to say this, and I know we've already had a sadistic human being in that chair with Chris Plant, so I'm going to sound even worse right now.
Okay.
So SimCity still is always known for like the destruction. You can put UFOs in there, you can launch fires. I want more of that, and I'm still not seeing that.
No. I think they're implementing that because we brought that up. Like, what if your friend's a dick? And he just was like, here's some Godzillas. He lined the roads out of town with Godzilla bait. I don't know what that is, I guess.
Crack-addicted lizards that have gone... Because crack just makes you really...
You're saying if you give crack to a regular lizard, they turn into Godzilla.
I'm saying you should try... Don't try, but you should try.
Do crack.
Do crack.
Don't do crack. Don't do crack.
Do crack, but give it to your lizard. Give it to every lizard you see.
Okay.
Just sprinkle it.
Don't do that either, because that means you have to buy it, and that's a crime.
So here's but it's always the same kind of very point A to point B. Here's a fire, it burns. Here's a UFO, it blows shit up, whatever.
Yeah.
What if you build the international airport and then you got the scene from an outbreak? Someone brought a monkey on board, caused a disease. Can you quarantine? Not only do I want to see more natural disasters, more ways of destroying a town, I want to see more ways of curbing that.
Yeah.
In case of crazy emergencies,
I would love to see a pandemic scenario happen, and then the little doctor guy with the green hair pops up in the SNES game. He's like, "Hey man, this is it for me. I've got the monkey virus. It's been good. Oh, my heart!" And he throws up his heart. A cartoon nurse runs in.
So did you ask them if that was in?
Yeah.
Did they confirm that?
Yeah, they did. They said definitely.
So high schools.
The green-haired mayor guy.
Heart vomiting.
From the Super Nintendo game. Outbreak.
Monkeys on a plane.
There's Left Behind. Happens.
Just pure on Rapture.
Yeah.
Just Rapture. There's a drop-down menu. Godzilla.
The mayor's talking to you. He's like,
Rapture.
"Hey, something feels weird." And he vanishes. And an angel comes down. He's like, "Bye."
Just little piles of clothes all
and
over.
Then you're left behind as the player.
You are left behind. You and Kirk Cameron have to band together.
Heavy.
Kirk Cameron has his own city.
He didn't make it?
No, he did not.
Really was.
I thought he extolled the virtue of the banana and everything.
Nothing makes sense that we're saying right now. There is some PC stuff I want to see on the floor. I want to see some MMOs, like that Neverwinter game. Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I didn't know who wants to. You're done?
I'm out of here.
Okay.
All right, man.
We're going to swap out. We're going to do a substitution, get Matt Leone in here to talk about Metal Gear.
Michael McWhorter.
Matt Leone, when you come in, would you bring me a drink? I've been out here for 2 hours. I'm so thirsty.
I mixed your audio down so you can.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
On At the Loft. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
so,
sure. I hear you have a movie coming out in the spring.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Cool. So you've been here so long. Do you want the throne seat?
No, I'm good. I like this corner seat. I like being in the middle of the action. Yeah, that's good to put that on. Who's this? No, it's Raymond. Oh my fucking god.
Oh, power of the Wii U.
Can you get a Photoshop of his brother on the big, who's the big stupid blue guy? No, Brad Garrett's not the big stupid blue guy. The big stupid blue guy from Rayman.
Oh.
But not everyone loves Raymond, but the
Oh my god.
it's confusing.
Matt,
Hello.
tell us about this Metal Gear game.
Metal
Yeah.
Gear. It's awesome. I actually really like it.
Wait, which Metal Gear are we talking about?
Revengeance.
Yes.
Okay.
Rising Revengeance. It is like Bayonetta in that it's like super fast and you dart around and like slice up people. What the hell is
Don't worry about it. It's a cushion. I
It's a
tore it off
weird
the couch
place.
in a fit of rage.
And then, but then it's got the thing that they showed initially where like it kind of freezes time for half a second and then you rotate your sword and you can slice any direction. So, you'll come up across like a statue of a guy holding a prisoner and then you have to just slice him off. It's just like teaching how to play. But I mean, I think that mechanic is really cool because it forces you to slow down. It forces you to like think about it. So it's this weird balance between like the crazy kind of kinetic darting around stuff. You look like you don't care about this at all.
I don't, man.
I mean, thank you for coming on. But
Of
yeah,
course.
I guess.
It's awesome. I love the game. I mean,
I just don't. I think it's the title.
really?
What,
I
Revengeance?
think
You're that
my-
guy.
I want to be more erudite than that, but for fuck's
They
sake,
do start
guys.
like the little room that they have on their booth. It starts with this like informational room that you go in. It's got like these live action videos on the wall that you have to watch for about 10 minutes
Yeah.
that make no sense. And it's just like people.
So
Like,
the surgery one with the guy's arm.
It's the same
that's
kind of
apparently a
stuff.
jump drive.
I don't understand any of it.
No,
It's
it
like
sounds.
huge waste of time.
I just don't. I don't know. I guess I just don't know enough about it to get excited about it.
Do you like action games?
Yeah, sure.
You like Bayonetta?
Yeah, that.
Do you like? Why wouldn't you like this? It's exactly like that, but with like new mechanics.
You know, I would like it not to combine the words revenge and vengeance with a straight face.
Yeah, that's about because it's the same thing.
Because it's
You're talking like people who don't have any idea
It's
what
like
the game's
saying
about
I'm really.
and are trying to make conversation.
no, but it's like
I'm
it's
happy glad right now. Those two words that you mashed into one word, but they mean
Yeah.
the exact same thing.
Like Super Happy Donuts, my favorite donut place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything else about what you saw from the game?
Yes,
or
I
just the
can.
slow motion cutting.
No, I mean the slow motion cutting. That's the part that I like, just because it's got that. I like that it forces the slow kind of with all the fast everything else. But then just like everything else is great too. Like there's the whole mechanic where you have to slice certain enemies in half, and then you have to like grab, I forget what it's called, but like some kind of data out of them and kind of like squish
Where
it.
is the data?
It's in their guts. It's like in that initial trailer where they showed that like blue, like I don't know, snake-looking thing.
Is it like Johnny Mnemonic?
I don't know.
Have you seen Johnny Mnemonic?
No.
It's a really.
I remember Johnny
listen,
Bazooka Tone.
No, Johnny Mnemonic. It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie. It's Keanu.
Yeah, I've
Reeves,
heard of it.
And he stores data in his brain.
Right.
You know who wants that data?
The other guy.
The other guy. I don't remember who it is because I haven't seen Johnny Mnemonic in a grip.
Yeah.
But that sounds very Johnny Mnemonic.
I suppose. Yeah. Could be.
At the end of Johnny Mnemonic, his guts get ripped out.
All right. No, but I mean, it's
Did
just.
you just
it's
spoil Johnny Mnemonic?
I don't know. I didn't. I mean,
I think the slicing thing has a lot of potential for
Fruit Ninja.
stuff that action games don't.
okay.
Yeah, Fruit Ninja basically mixed with Bayonetta. Favorite
Okay.
game.
I like both of those games, I guess.
Yeah.
Can I connect? Can I play it on Connect?
I hope not,
I like Fruit Ninja.
because
on
that would be
Connect.
horrible for this game.
I suppose.
You have to like set your controller down.
Slow-
like
slow
okay,
motion.
time to slice the guy. Oh wait, pick up. Okay, now grab his guts.
Does it have that bulletproof song? That slow motion bulletproof song they had in Bayonetta? I really like that jam.
The
Do you want me to
Frank
sing it?
Sinatra thing?
No. Do you want me to sing it for you?
Yes, I do.
Going in for the coup.
Oh, that was the trailer. That wasn't the game.
I'm doing it
Yeah.
for the coup.
It's bulletproof.
You want to hear my Michael McDonald version of it?
I'm going in for the kill.
Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Did you see anything else on the show floor?
Tomb Raider was cool.
Yeah?
That was the other big thing I saw today.
Do you want to play some maps?
I guess we're talking about Apple TV now.
Tell us about John Carter from Mars.
We're hiding that. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, Tomb Raider was awesome.
Tomb Raider. Let's talk Tomb Raider.
It's like watching a movie.
Did you actually play it?
No, I watched them play for like half an hour.
So it's exactly like watching a movie.
It was okay. So as action games go, it was more watchable than pretty much anything. Just like part of that's because it's tons of cutscenes with like crazy camera angles and story.
That clip that they showed during the whatever press conference it was on.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that Microsoft?
Microsoft.
I'm totally willing to suspend my disbelief for any action sequence I have, like Uncharted games, where like he's on a ship and it capsizes and then stuff starts breaking. I'm like, okay, this is crazy, but I can go along with it. That sequence of her like, I'm running away, I'm blowing up a bridge, I'm falling in the water, I went over a waterfall, I fell into an airplane, I got a parachute, I'm flying through trees.
The parachute thing was just, it was already over the top, and that was just like, that was the jump into the shark moment. There should have been a shark just to tie it up.
What did you think of Resident Evil? Because that's what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, that was rough too. It's, I feel like in lieu of like innovation and talking about next gen stuff and new IP, people are just like, how many more dangerous situations can we put people in?
You gotta go weird.
And I feel like for this one, they're like, well, look, we can't make Lara Croft a complete badass. It's got to be an origin story. It's got to be her Casino Royale.
She's not a badass at all.
Let's just beat up this woman as much as humanly possible.
And my favorite part,
she gets wrecked.
Well, is that she always talks to herself like a crazy person.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna jump over this, and then she jumps over this. It's like, oh. And people talk about all the grunting and how she is like all sexualized and everything. And I think that's really just because they make her talk to herself basically for anything she does in the game. So you really notice it when she's just like running along. Oh, I have nothing to say. I might as well just like breathe heavy.
Yeah.
And like it's like, all right, so we're gonna make Lara Croft. But,
oh boy.
That starts snapping is always a bad idea. So like, all right, we're gonna make her battered, bleeding, talking to herself, staggering about. Crazy woman. Of course they do it in Los Angeles. They just show this thing at a Los Angeles event.
Wow.
What?
That's like going way out of your way to prove you're from New York.
What?
I didn't. That was so West Coast East Coast beef that I did not understand what he was talking about.
Born and raised.
Okay. I think have we talked about every game that's at E3? Is there anything?
I hope so.
You have tops 19 and a half minutes.
Huh?
What?
Wow. He was like wrapping it up, and you're like, you got 20 minutes left.
Wait. Oh, okay. All right, let's go through the last few comments here.
Okay. Hop into the YouTube and let's look at some chats.
All right. Where are them chats?
I played that 007 game.
Oh, South Park in the Cave next. Did you all see South Park? Have we talked South Park yet?
It looks good.
It looks good. Somebody here played it. Chris Grant, was it?
Chris Grant and I saw the previous showcase. Is Grant gone? Oh, he's left.
Okay.
All right, well, I was there too. It looks really good. It looks just like the game, of course.
The show?
Like the show?
Yeah.
It looks like a game. I've seen it. I was watching it. So
yeah.
It's kind of like a show.
Sounds good.
I hear it. The game. It sounds good. It sounds like actually fun. It sounds like a fun deep RPG.
Well, it does and it doesn't because like, it's like when you take out the South Park part, when you take out the voice acting and the animation and the humor and all that, it's just a traditional RPG. The battles take you out into other scenes. You do turn-based stuff. You hit X at the right time to do a perfect block or a double attack. And I feel like there can be, from what we saw, it adheres pretty closely to the traditional RPG vibe, which is fine, but it can get old after a while. And like, we've grinded. I grinded that stuff in school back in my day, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it's going to get tiresome if you see the same summon over and over again. Like, in the end, you can summon Mr. Slave to, for lack of a better term, hamsterize your opponent. Anyone who watched the show?
I don't know what that means.
My dad doesn't let me watch it.
He's 12.
I'm 12 years old.
Yes.
It's too sexual, he says.
Put the fat tire in front of him.
This is. Thought it was apple juice. Aw, no.
Oh, wait. It is apple juice.
It's Fat Tire's new apple juice.
Yeah.
False
alarm. We're okay.
Anything? What happened in GTA? It was canceled. Stupid PR stunts. There was we were walking out. There was like a Viking on stilts.
Yeah.
There was a Viking on stilts standing outside of a medieval times-esque restaurant.
Yeah. It wasn't a Viking. It was a guy in a kilt. It was Scotsman.
A Scottish Viking.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not exactly PR, but
it was PR for the medieval times-based restaurant.
I think it was the
you didn't
D.
specify games PR.
Yeah.
I did. Gosh.
Snoop Dogg.
But
I walked past and I just heard him repeating the word Tekken like 15 times in a row because I guess he didn't have any other words for that song.
No, it's because he said 7. Is that how his song goes? Tekken. This is dances.
You'd be surprised.
I am Snoop Dogg. Tekken. Weed, Tekken. Weed. He likes weed a lot. Have you ever seen Weeds? What's wrong?
Can we talk about Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
All right, Crane, this is on everybody.
Hi. I just said it to the wide shot. It'll be fine. Because I'm definitely not in a single.
He's got a
so
song
I went to Snoop
and
Dogg
a stage in the game.
And I went with Phil, who's not here. Otherwise, I would have pushed him in here to talk about Snoop Dogg. They were there with Tekken. They played the Snoop Dogg music video for the song, for the Tekken song, which he replaces the word taking with Tekken.
Is that what it was?
Like, Tekken a minute to battle or whatever the lyrics are.
I'm Tekken some suicide pills tonight.
Yeah, it's like that. And then he came out. They kept referring to him as the dog father.
Of course.
Almost every time they said him. I don't even know that they said his name once. They kept calling him the dog father. And then he said, I love Tekken so much. I play it all the time. It was important because it's authentic martial arts, which I don't think that it is. And then they threw to a gameplay video with the same song. So we listened to the whole song in his music video. He talked for 2 minutes. He threw to another video, which was all gameplay and the whole song again. And that was it. And then the press conference was over.
I just love it because Namco's always been Tekken's our sacred series. Like, we can't put any secret characters or anything in that. And then they have a Snoop Dogg stage. Like,
it was incredible.
It's kind of amazing.
So what other artists could we have gotten to put Tekken in their songs?
I don't understand the conceit of the question.
You just want Tekken in every song?
Yeah, just want to Tekken to the limit.
All right, there you go. You just had that in your head. You want to say it.
Just wanted to get that out there.
That was Creighton.
I immediately regret that. Actually,
that was Creighton, by the way. Our one of our video gentlemen.
Creighton DeSimone, the master at the control switch right now.
Griffin, acknowledge me.
Hi, you.
No, my fly isn't open. These jeans are just weird. Is there
wait. Look at me, Griff. So.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, you looked okay.
Did Valve show anything? Is Global Offensive?
Yeah, it's in like the Microsoft booth or something, but it's not like a big presentation.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
This is the best night ever.
Well, wait, so Portal Emotion.
Portal Emotion. Finish the sentence. They're making a Portal with the PlayStation Move.
I heard. I saw it. Yeah, briefly.
That would have been maybe a good thing to announce when you were going over all the Move shit. Sody, what are you guys doing? You guys trying to make the Move happen?
Okay. Spies versus Mercs. Anything on that?
No.
Spies versus Mercs. Is that a game?
I think it's Splinter Cell thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the mode.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on Move? Is that it? Is that what you're saying?
No, Spies vs. Mercs for Assassin's Creed. Jesus Christ.
It's the new Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell, Blacklist.
They announced it's back?
Yeah, they announced it's back, but I don't think
Okay.
they've given any firm details about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have a question. How much Carly Rae Jepsen was on the show floor this year?
Only the amount that Justin was singing every 2.5 minutes. We actually can't do it because she's very litigious.
I don't get any of your references.
She'll sue the pants off. She did that one song that's like, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend.
Sweet.
Was
Keep
it
going.
the same person?
No,
I don't know
come
what song
on.
you're talking about. Finish it.
PlanetSide 2. I'm seeing PlanetSide 2 tomorrow. Really? I'm looking forward to it. I can report back on that then. But yeah, I saw Dust 514 today. No gameplay. 'Cause, we spent a lot of time on the customization stuff. But that looked neat and deep, and it's got a Vita.
I'm worried.
Why are you worried?
Because it looks really bad. Come on. It's like super low budget. No one's gonna play it.
I think it's a free-to-play shooter.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be cool.
You say free-to-play, like that means everyone wants to play it.
It's a free-to-play class-based shooter. Those are good things.
Okay.
We'll see. I'll put $20 down on it right now.
Well, down on what? The Metacritic score?
That's Metacritic 70 or above. You hear that action?
I'll do 75.
I'll do 75, sure.
Right.
See what else we've got. We've got
Borderlands 2.
Yep. And Aliens Colonial Marines. Or Colonial Marines.
Yeah, that's here.
Is Aliens Colonial Marines gonna be here at all?
Yeah, it's on the show floor. I don't know if it's new though.
Yeah, we're gonna see everything.
Yeah.
We promise. We had what, I guess, like 6 hours on the show floor today. That's how long it was
Something
open,
like that,
which
yeah.
isn't enough time for everybody to see everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us what you want us to see, and we'll go. Did we see a brief history of gaming?
It's our video. Ooh. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were being snarky, but
is that your question, Russ?
Yeah, sorry, you got it. Please watch it.
No, it's really good. It's on our YouTube channel.
It's really clever. BuzzFeed covered it today.
Watch that.
Deservedly so.
It's
and now we're covering them.
It's super good.
Yeah.
Is someone dying in the background? Probably. It's been a long day.
Oh, not that background. That background. I heard about those barbecue pulled pork burgers. Those would go great with celery.
Could be in weirdos. Let's talk about games.
Yeah. Is there going to be a live stream tomorrow? Yes. Yes, there
every
absolutely
night.
is.
Well, next
every single night.
Project P100, you missed it. We talked about that. Maybe
love it.
Don't be a latecomer. The Cave.
By Double Fine.
Cave.
Is the Cave here?
It is. I didn't see it today, but
I neither.
I mean,
we gotta say a good appointment though. We'll check that bad boy out.
It's like a platformer adventure thing.
Loving it. Indie Game the Movie playing in LA. Guys, do you not realize
that was a while ago.
Guys, wait.
We're pretty busy here.
My favorite game is when you can swim in the sequel, but not the first game, and it's Assassin's Creed 2.
That's more than one game.
Hold on, I'm trying to analyze that sentence here. Oh, my favorite game where you can swim in the sequel, but not the first game, is Assassin's Creed 2. That's a very specific categorization of favorites.
What about San Andreas is, I think, probably mine.
Your favorite? Yeah, that's a pretty good one, actually. Can't swim in the first, swim in the second.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's third.
When are we coming up with a new podcast? Not the besties. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
That makes you feel really good. That makes you feel really good as a person. We'll get around to it. Where's Russ Frushtick? He's drunk somewhere. Griff, you need your rest. I agree wholeheartedly. Loco Cycle.
Yeah. I don't know if they're showing anything, but it's the Twisted Pixel motorcycle thing.
Yeah, I know what it is. I was hoping you'd have some sort of deep scoop or skinny.
You said the word, like you wanted me
I
to tell
know
you
that
what
word.
it was, in case you didn't, but you didn't have to look like you didn't.
Guys, Maverick89 here. Another game where you can swim in the sequel, but not the first game, is Spyro 2. So that's...
What are we, guys? Stay on message.
There's a big list of those.
Is anime real? It's like you guys don't even want to know about E3 anymore.
I kind of feel the same way. It's been kind of a very low-key show.
What do you mean low-key?
Low-key. It's boring.
Well, for tech.
Okay.
Well, but I mean, like, even the game itself, it's sequel after sequel.
This very special video.
Okay.
Oh, well,
all right.
Good.
We're glad that you guys could join us.
That's such a downer note.
Unless you wanted one last thing, final comments for the next 2.5 minutes?
We have 4 minutes.
Okay.
We'll wrap it up.
Whoa.
Thank you guys.
Hold up.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Oh
my God.
We're
Can we
actually
get
show this
Justin?
video.
J-Mac. Yeah. I need you over here.
This is important. I am getting out of the way for this one.
Thanks for joining us. We're gonna do this every night that we're here. We're gonna see lots of games. So drop comments. Thank you guys for watching. There's tons of comments in the chat and the post. We really appreciate you guys joining us. Any final remarks?
I just want to say
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear is the best game.
Do it.
I just want
It
to
is
say,
the best game I've seen so far.
as the first video game site to ever stream video from E3, I want to say I feel like a real pioneer today. You know, I hope no one tries to cop this flavor.
And if they did, they probably stole it. Definitely from us.
Stole it from us because we were basically the first site.
We had the trademark on this in like 1993.
Yeah. So happy to be a pioneer. I'm gonna really make history. One small step for man.
Can you take us out?
Me?
Yeah.
Can you play us out?
Can you play us out? This is an ad. This is completely
advertisement, baby.
This is completely
work
fake
around.
Sing is definitely a game you're going to want in your collection. You're going to want to play this with your friends and your family, and it's definitely going to help create a bit of a party vibe.